forging a new world order. That's Donald Trump's vision for Tariff Day, where the US attempts to weld an open consumer-based economy into a closed-off manufacturing nation.
Our customers are delaying their decision making. People are buying the minimum amount they can buy because they don't know between the time they place an order and get the product what the trading conditions will be.
So you've already had an economic hit?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about... Sterling Thermal Technology is one of the UK's success stories. They make the technology that cools down mega energy generators in warships and power plants. But 20% of their business is in the US.
They are used at the latest defense destroyer, the latest destroyer vessel of US.
So this is actually part of the kit that is under threat, potentially?
Yes, and potentially in a couple of days when they are finished, they will actually attract some tariffs when they are going to the US.
But some of the damage has already happened.
The bigger impact is, I think, the uncertainty of it, because we've seen the tariffs are on one day, off the next morning. Nobody wakes up in the morning and buys industrial products. These are like long-term investments that people plan over a long period.
Do you think your customers can just absorb the price increases?
In a sense, it depends on how much the country wants to absorb, because every one of us use this infrastructure on a daily basis.
So is it plausible that American consumers are just going to spend 20%, 25% more on energy, on infrastructure?
Probably not.
Today, the FTSE 250 slid 390 points, making it the worst day of trading for a year and a half. But it's not just here. Japan has seen its stock market hammered, and since Trump outlined his tariff plans in February, the European stock 600 has slumped. In the US itself, both the Nasdaq and the S&P have seen dramatic falls, as traders bet that tariffs will hurt company margins, consumers, and growth.
President Trump believes in tariffs. He believes that tariffs is one of the most beautiful words in the English language, and he thinks they'll solve any problem that can be put in front of them.
But does that manifest into a clear, cogent strategy? I mean, do we know what's going to happen on Wednesday?
I don't think even people around President Trump know what's going to happen on Wednesday. We know there are 15 to 20 countries in the firing line. The UK may or may not be one of those, and these will come on top of the tariffs already announced on steel and aluminium and on cars.
The auto industry.
Probably the best option the UK has is to do trade deals with others, starting with deepening the relations with the EU, but also around the world, because that's what other countries are looking at, is how do you strengthen your trade deals and almost cut the US out of this?
Global goods trade totaled $24 trillion in 2023, with China as the #1 exporter, responsible for $3.5 trillion of exports. The US was second, exporting $2 trillion, and Germany, where so much of Trump's ire is aimed, is third. The UK is 13th on the list, exporting $520 billion. And while Europe is far and away the UK's #1 trading partner, exports from Blighty across the Atlantic added up to £60 billion, and $8 billion of that was cars.
We are now 8 years into the US trying to bring back manufacturing with no evident signs of success so far. The manufacturing plants in any case don't employ that many people anymore because of technology developments. So it's likely to deliver higher prices for consumers and an economic slowdown in the US.
But look a little closer, and it's not just the US economy that will suffer. Global growth will take a hit, and even if the UK escapes through a sweetheart deal, consumers and companies will see markets squeezed and budgets cut.